Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to count down my top 10 worst Power Ranger seasons. Before we get started, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss any update. Alright, now Power Rangers, they help us a lot. Yeah, they teach you something like teamwork, not being overconfident. But these seasons, ooh, they really just piss you off, and me off too. So anyway, I'm gonna cut the chit chat. So let's get started with number 10, Power Rangers Megaforce. Megaforce, the absolute worst Power Rangers season in history. Why do I say that, you ask? Because everything in it was rushed, lazy, lackluster, mediocre, and boring. And let's be real, to think Ninja Steel had a lot of filler in it, Megaforce itself had way too much filler in it. Every single episode in this season, except the pilot episode, was filled until Super Megaforce. That's all it was. Even John from Mr. Weedy Productions, followed his channel by the way, had enough sense to call this filler season. In fact, Operation Overdrive at least tried. It could have tried harder, but it was more watchable than Megaforce. It had a whole heck of lot of potential, just poor execution. The only Rangers who were at least competent was back in Rose with Megaforce and didn't try at all. Noah was the only Ranger who I could take seriously. Joy, Jake, Gia, Emma, and Orion, on the other hand, not a chance. Even Roman I wish as competent as Noah was. Number 9, Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Now, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy this as a kid. It's not exactly the worst, but I wouldn't call it the best season ever. Call me crazy, but I'm not really a fan of the suits, only because they're carbon copies of Charlie Brown. Radio was a good Red Ranger. Damien was also a pretty good Green Ranger. Kai was a decent Blue Ranger and Second Command. Maya was okay as the Yellow Ranger. She wasn't terrible, but wasn't all that good either. Candace was a great Pink Ranger, and so was Corona as her replacement. Mike was good as the Maverick Defender and really tough. But all in all, well, it was okay. Well, despite it being a fall season, it was okay. Number 8, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3. I'm probably alone on this, but Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3 was really bad. In fact, I consider this to be the worst season for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, period. We can obviously see that the writers were getting bored with keeping the same suits for 3 years straight. Leader and Warstead got even worse as villains. Rito was a complete goofball. Goldar started to get boring. Master File was not all that great. The monsters got utterly ridiculous, and the Rangers were Not to mention that we got a bunch of filler episodes that did nothing but waste time. The only good things about this season was when we got more original footage, and George joining the Rangers side by side in battle, the Rangers getting new ninja powers, and Kimberly left to do her gymnastics career. It was replaced by Catherine. That's when the lineup of Rangers got better. Overall, despite this season having its good moments, it really fell flat on its face and extremely disappointing. Number 7, Power Rangers Turbo. For many Power Ranger fans, Power Rangers Turbo was a train wreck, but for other Power Ranger fans, it was a success. For me, I thought Turbo was okay. Yes, it does have a ton of flaws, but it wasn't really all that terrible compared to Operation Overdrive, Megaforce, Super Megaforce, and Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. I understand that the main complaint of why people like Turbo is Justin, the new Blue Ranger. Let me go on record to saying that for those you against a kid being a Ranger, shame on you, because it doesn't make sense that Q for Down Ranger gets a pass for being a Ranger. But here, Justin doesn't. That's just my opinion. However, I do know that Justin has a lot of focused episodes. But if you really think about it, Tommy, Adam, and Kat already had their focus in both Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Zeo, while Tanya already had her focus in Zeo by itself. It was sad to see Tommy, Adam, Tanya, and Kat lead the show. But hey, go figure. Anyways, TJ was a great replacement Red Ranger and leader. He was also the first African American to be a Red Ranger and leader. Carlos was a good replacement Green Ranger and Second Command. Ashley was a good replacement Yellow Ranger, and I found her to be attractive as well. As for Cassie, she was an okay replacement Pink Ranger. She wasn't terrible, but she wasn't all that good either. Overall, this much like Samurai, Dino Supercharged, and Ninja Steel, it wasn't nearly a bad season, but for me it sucked. Number 6, Power Rangers Zeo. This season is not great. It's just too many. It's too much comedy, and the villains are stupid and silly. The Rangers doesn't have any type of meaningful development. There's too much filler. This season, by any regular service, is terrible. But like I said, by Ranger standards, it's average. And the Japanese counterpart was much better and darker. Number 5, Power Rangers Super Megaforce. Do we really need a freaking recap of what is considered to be almost universally panned season of the Neo-Saban era, yet alone the absolute worst anniversary series of Power Rangers? We already know the story of Power Rangers Super Megaforce. Oh wait, I forgot. Super Megaforce doesn't even have an actual story. It's just fight scene after 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 something, etc. But with no actual character growth and development or irreformary historical arcs of or actual resources to the character's actions and personal struggles or forced to be overcome. Just give us any form of reasons to care about any of these guys. I mean, seriously, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, Power Ranger Mystic Force, and Power Ranger Silver had an actual story in those 3 seasons. And yet, many fans considered them to be the worst seasons of Power Rangers. But at least you remember the characters and their stories. But Megaforce and Super Megaforce, what a story. Oh, shit happens occasionally, but in terms of memorable story arcs, or anything that could establish some real character development due to their actions, forget it.
Yes, so be very careful.
Careful for what?
We will.
What? What is this? Number 4, Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. Okay, y'all may hate me for this, some of you, but I really hate Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. You know, but back then with Power Rangers was fun. They had something like a storyline, story arc, all that stuff. I mean, it was cool, but now they get boring and repetitive. Now, it's fine having the Gold Ranger on your team, but now you're making him like boring and stuff. I do like the new modes though. They're kind of cool. It was all right. I just want to see what the Hasbro era has in store for Ninja Steel. I mean, for Power Rangers. Excuse me.
Mansion outside of Briarwood?
All right, number 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 3, Power Rangers Mystic Force. Mystic Force was a okay season, but they put it on the focus on Nick was too much. The recap pushed me in nostalgic feels though. Hell, it's kind of like a Harry Potter storyline. Hell no, it kind of sucks. The characters suck. Hell, what the hell's going on? No, I'm gonna restart this. I would say this: Power Rangers Mystic Force is what I would call a controversial season. Okay, because on one hand, people consider this as one of the worst seasons of all time, but on the other, I consider that's the best season. Nick was okay as Red Ranger. He wasn't the best leader or character, and before everyone says it, yes, I know Nick got too many focus episodes, and his attitude didn't sit well for most people. But in my opinion, Nick wasn't really all that bad. Chuck is probably what I would consider the most charismatic and energetic Yellow Ranger in Power Ranger history. There was nothing for me to really hate about him. I like Mads as Blue Ranger, but I just wish she got more focus. She did at least get a couple of focus episodes instead of none. I didn't really care for Vita as the Pink Ranger. The problem I had with her is she was just too reckless. In fact, I thought she was a lot worse than Nick was. The Sander was a good Green Ranger, but he had his fair share of issues. His whole can plan Sander thing was just completely stupid. Anything seriously think things over Vita Muscle was done for attacking her? Heck no. Plus, he was trying to overset Nick Lowe as leader. Well, serious dude, back up. You're not the leader. Nick is. Dagwan was a great teacher and Sixth Ranger. As the Silver last night. Well, Donna was okay as the White Ranger, but great as a mentor. Well, I'm gonna go to the other side and say is the worst. I just can't. I'm sorry. Heck, it's kind of like Harry Potter. What the actual thing they are? Try to combine Power Rangers and Harry Potter. I mean, no one wants to see that. Number two, Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. And it's a 50-50 season. It has some good moments and some bad ones, but maybe with six extra episodes, and it could have been better. But it will have the same results. But the total will be 38 episodes in Operation Overdrive. You know, at least Operation Overdrive had a unique and engaging story. It was fast, it was fun, and much more entertaining than Megaforce, which was a complete failure. And anything is better than any Neo-Saban season. The only thing I liked was the episode Once a Ranger. Now that was the best team up ever. I like it though. I do like the team up. And at number one, the worst Power Rangers season is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2. Now, you know, it was the, man, it was decent. This war set went from being a massive villain to a complete goof. When the actors who played Jason, Trini, and Zach left the show, this is what the season to end really weak. Everything was rushing way too lackluster. In fact, with Jason, Zach, and Trini left the show and was replaced by Rocky, Adam, and Aisha, the line just fell out of place. It was a huge slap in the face. Adam and Aisha were good, but both good replacement Rangers. Rocky, on the other hand, was a bad replacement Red Ranger. He was trying way too hard to be like Jason, but failed miserably. And hence the reason why I like him better when he was the Blue Ranger in Zeo. When Rita returned, the season started to get weaker and weaker by the second. Tommy was okay as the White Ranger and leader. The biggest letdown of the season is that, my opinion, is when the plot was used up by a lot of the filler episodes. But however, the production staff did a good job, including some original footage. In season 1, there was some original footage, but this season had a lot of original footage. Overall, some say it was decent, some say it was bad. So I'll go with both. I really hated it. And that's my top 10 worst Power Ranger seasons. I'll see you guys next time.